it started out as a graphic novel, I guess. Soulmates Eric and Shelley are brutally murdered when the demons of her dark past catch up with them. Given the chance to save his true love by sacrificing himself, Eric sets out to seek merciless revenge on the killers, traversing the worlds of the living and the dead to put the wrong things right. It is not easy to read this, and my eyes aren't even old people eyes yet. I can still read things up close. It's just with the way that the lighting is set up in here, kind of hard. Now I have Never Let Go. I have not heard really anything about this, which is kind of weird for having such a big star in it. I remember the preview. Some kids and her stuck deep in the woods. They have to be tethered to their house for safety. But I think they start to doubt that they have to be tethered. They just think their mom's full of it for a while. Let's see. A psychological horror thriller. As an evil takes over the world beyond their front doorstep, a mother, played by Halle Berry, and her twin sons find their only protection is their house and their deep-rooted family bond. Needing to stay connected at all times, even tethering themselves with ropes, they urge each other to never let go. But when one of the boys questions if the evil is real, the ties that bind them together are severed, triggering a terrifying fight for survival. It's just a coming-of-age thing. You start to think that everything your parents say is BS. And push your boundaries, right? So that's Never Let Go with Halle Berry. And then because it's been years since I've watched this, I have It Follows. It Follows. An instant classic. I do think it is. I consider this an instant classic. For 19-year-old Jay, fall should be about school, boys, and weekends out on the lake, but after a seemingly innocent sexual encounter, she finds herself plagued by strange visions and the inescapable sense that someone or something is following her. Jay and her teenage friends must now find a way to escape the horrors that seem to be only a few steps behind in this critically acclaimed chiller. The scariest movie of 2015, so if you're craving that 2015 vibes, this one would be a good one to watch. I just watched something that reminded me of It Follows, and that's why I wanted to grab It Follows, and now it's totally evading my mind as usual, as per usual. Now let's get into these horror books. These are newish release horror books. This first one came out in October and it's still considered a new release per my library. And this is Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Girl Dinner. Isn't that pretty though? That is stunning. So, Girl Dinner by Olivia Blake. Dig into Girl Dinner, a darkly fun novel about power, lust, and eating your fill. Good girls deserve a treat. Every member of the house, the most exclusive sorority on campus, and all of its alumni are beautiful, high-achieving, and universally respected. After freshman year, she would rather forget sophomore Nina Carr. Knows being one of the chosen few accepted into the house is the first step on her path to the brightest possible future. Once she's taken into their fold, the house will surely ease her fears of failure and protect her from those who see a young woman on her own as easy prey. Meanwhile, adjunct professor Dr. Sloan Hartley is struggling to return to work after accepting a demotion to support her partner's new position at the Cutthroat University. After 18 months at home with her newborn daughter, Sloan's clothes don't fit right. Her girl dad husband isn't as present as he thinks he is, and even a few hours a day she's apart from her child fill her psyche with paralyzing ennui. When invited to the house's academic liaison, Sloan envisions drinks in the way of the alumni seem to have it all, achieving a level of collective perfection that Sloan so desperately craves. As Nina and Sloan each get drawn deeper into the arcane rituals of the sisterhood, they learn that living well comes with the bloody costs. And when they are finally accepts a property appraisal assignment in the rural hills of Ohio. She knows it's her last chance to save her job and keep making rent, but she quickly finds herself stranded in the middle of nowhere with a sabotage truck, her dog, and someone or something stalking her through the ancient Appalachian woods. If she can't escape the woods on time, she'll see firsthand that her job isn't the only thing that wants to eat her alive. So it's a someone or something, which usually aren't my favorite, but it does have that MLM theme, so we'll see. We'll see. Now the next one is incredibly divisive as well, and the cover is brutal. This one is Headlights. Headlights by C.J. Lead. I've heard everything from, wow, this is the best book I've read this year, to, oh my god, this is traumatic and actually frightening too. I DNF'd it. I just didn't care. Oh, we've got a picture of, we've got C.J. Lead on the back. C.J. Lead on the back and her horse. Instinct tells him to run. Every memory tells him he can't. Special Agent Daniel Stansfield is ready for change, burnt out and defeated by the job. It's his last day with the FBI, but before he can turn in his badge, he's summoned back to Denver. The city ran from 4 years. He ran from 4 years ago with a chilling message. It's happening again. Seemingly innocent people are waking up on the side of the highway with no memory of how they got there, wearing the skin of the victims they've allegedly never met. And they share one haunting detail. A strand of a stranger's hair is tied around their tongue. Now Daniel is pulled back into the gruesome cycle, and every clue leads him deeper into the shadows of his own past. He will have to confront the ghosts of his traumatic childhood and face what's been haunting him all along, before he and the people he loves become the next victims. So that is Headlights. And this is a chunker. This one is about, well, $3.88. That's not too bad. And it's pretty new. It came out in June. And then the last one, this is another June one, and then the Morsel. Morsel was also a June one. So we've got invasive species, invasive species. And I like that there's some tentacles in this one. That's what drew me to this book. It's by Ellery Adams. The woman in Cold Harbor all have something to prove, and they'll have to do it in a world full of monsters. Something's not right in Cold Harbor, more so than usual. While this sleepy small town has seen its fair share of monsters and cheating husbands and leering bosses, none are as hungry as Mrs. Smith. The mysterious resident has finally emerged from her crumbling mansion on the hill, mesmerizing the townspeople with her beauty, her secret, 9 human sacrifices to feed her immortality. Natalie Scott is more worried about Mrs. Smith blocking her first real